Welcome to the Daily Grind. New time, same
New
show.
time.
I'm one half of the team over here. I'm Mark. I got Luke. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. It's different time, same. I'm still drinking coffee. Nothing much
Same
changed.
same shitty show.
Yep.
New time.
New
Same
time.
crappy host. Yeah. So it was different not waking up and doing this show today. We collectively, you and I, decided that we wanted to do it at a different time. We just got stuff going on in the mornings that didn't allow us to be as productive, for me anyway, to be as productive as I needed to be. I got to get a lift in the morning usually. Some other things, got school, and then work starts right away too. So we are going to be moving this scheduled time for this show every day at 1 p.m. So it fits in with some of our lunch breaks and some of maybe your lunch breaks. So hopefully you guys enjoy the show. Again, same show, just different time.
Different time.
We didn't really announce. We just kind of did it. We decided yesterday after the show, we just kind of talked and like, you know what, let's just do it.
Yeah.
So here it is. We got a great show for you guys today. We are looking at the Grizzlies Heat that go on tonight. Second segment, we'll do our stats monster. And then starting today, from now until the trade deadline, we're going to be looking at a trade almost every single day, a trade that we think might be good for the Grizzlies, it might be bad for the Grizzlies, or it might not happen at all. But we're getting some trades thrown at us in the Discord. So if you're not a Discord member, be a Bluff City Media Insider. I don't know how else to tell that. I mean, we say that every day. It's super simple. Yeah. It's $5 a month. And you get access to all of our stuff. But we got some Discord trades, so we'll do that in the third segment. And then, yeah, let's get to it, man. Grizzlies Heat tonight. The Heat did acquire Terry Rozier. I think yesterday.
Yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
I don't know if he'll play. I
think he's out. Well, I think they might have already released their thing, and I think he might be out, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jaquez. I think they've already released it. I think he was on their injury report already.
Yeah, Jaquez is definitely out. So is Drew Smith. He was out for the season though. And then Haywood Highsmith. I don't know if he plays. He plays some, not a lot, but definitely plays 17, 15 minutes a game. So they do have some injuries to contend with. Not as many as the Grizzlies.
Nope.
They do have some. I don't know if Terry Rozier will play tonight. So if anybody has seen that, leave a comment. We will get to it. I didn't have a chance to look it up. I didn't have a chance to look at their injury report. So, but I digress. It's still going to be a tough game either way. The Heat are a good team. They are 24-19. They are, one of the slower teams in the NBA. We played one of the slowest teams. I think actually the slowest team in the NBA. And what was that? The Bulls, or the Raptors the other night. And they go from the Raptors to the Heat, who are 29th in pace. The Raptors were 30th in pace. So another really slow team for the Grizzlies. We'll say it again, like I said yesterday. Got to speed them up. Got to play our brand of basketball. But before we get into the stats and everything, what are your thoughts on this Heat team?
Man, I think if I was a Heat fan, I would be extremely disappointed. It's been a weird season for them. They've got to be excited with the season they've got out of Jaquez, because that dude's a hooper, man. That dude can ball, and I don't know anybody that was scouting the draft that saw this out of him. I mean, dude is really good. And honestly, they've got to be happy to have Lowry out of there. He's been shooting like dog shit for them the past couple games, just really playing like trash. And even if Terry Rozier's not playing, I mean, one thing that I will say might bode well for us is I think they ran out a point guardless starting five in their last game or the last couple games, and it did not look very good. So if Terry's not playing, then I feel better about our chances. But if he plays, man, this is a good team. It's like you said, very, very solid team that can show up on any night and beat your ass.
Yeah, I would assume that we see Vince Williams on Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
my safe assumption.
Yep.
I did notice that they don't really have a point guard right now, especially if Terry Rozier doesn't play. If he plays, do you think he starts for them, or does he come off the bench?
But he starts.
Yeah,
I just think because they need it, because it's looked so not good for them without a point guard.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that they definitely need some organizational skills in that starting lineup.
Yes,
because like you said, they got a lot of hoopers. They got a lot of guys that can put the ball in the basket. Between Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero,
Mhm.
Jaquez, Duncan Robinson. I mean, they got guys that can shoot for sure. But it's a little like the Grizzlies. There's sometimes just the lack of a point guard is so noticeable sometimes that, getting into your sets and kind of just controlling the pace of the game, and kind of getting, again, just kind of organizing the people on the floor is just
Yeah.
difficult when you have that person. When you have a bunch of guys who are ready to go score and don't really think about the other things along with it, it can become very difficult. So if it were me, I would prefer that Terry Rozier not play.
Yeah.
If it's up to me, I would appreciate that as
It'd
a
be really
Grizzly.
nice.
It would be awesome.
It'd be
Uh,
real cool.
but I would assume, though, he's probably already down there. He's probably already going through physicals. My assumption is that he plays. It's just kind of like outside looking in. I don't know anything other than just kind of, how the NBA trades work. My assumption is that he probably plays, even though there is not a lot of like cohesiveness in the starting lineup or offensive. Like, I don't know the offensive game. I mean, that's a lot of times you see all the time guys come in and it doesn't really
Don't
matter.
know.
They just kind of play. So,
Yeah.
as all NBA teams run virtually all the same sets anyway. So, but yeah, so in terms of their stats, kind of what the Heat do in terms of on the court, they are 20th in the league in offensive rating, 11th in the league in defensive rating. So they don't score. Their rating is up just a 0.2, so it's 17. So they're just plus 0.2. So they're barely negligible. And they're 114 points per game. The Grizzlies do 108. So while the Grizzlies are still much worse on offense because they are the last place team in offensive rating. Like you said, I think they're, maybe there's an outside chance. I don't have a whole lot of hope, but maybe it's just an outside chance. I don't know.
It's gonna be a tough one. I mean, this is one of those. It's. How did we? I'm trying. Did we? Let me see. I just had it pulled up. How have we played them the last couple times? I'm trying to remember. So the last time we played them in November, and they beat us by 6.
That's a different. I think these are just different rosters, though.
Very different rosters. Very. That was
ultimate, especially
seventh game of the season.
Especially for the Grizzlies. I mean, it's a completely different roster at this point,
Yeah.
filled with a lot of NBA players. And so it becomes a very difficult proposition to, again, I'm talking myself out of this game. I think that's the problem is I'm talking myself out of this game because I just don't, I don't know. That gets surprising. I just don't see them. I don't see them defending that well. I mean, I think that you get guys on this team that can all play really good basketball individually at any point in the game, and Vince Williams can only guard one person. And I think that's the ultimate issue is they can only guard one person. You can only guard one Jimmy Butler. Maybe John Conchar is out there guarding Tyler Herro. I don't know if he continues to start, which I assume he will. But I think that's the ultimate issue is you just got a lot of guys who can put the ball in the basket and not a lot of guys who can defend them.
Well, the good news is the last time we played them, Zaire, Bismack Biyombo, and Kenny Lofton Jr. combined had like 60 minutes of playtime, so they're gone. So that's the good news. Well, they're not gone, but like 2 of them are gone, and Zaire will not play over 20 minutes tonight. So I mean, like that bodes well. I don't think Vince played the last game. Yeah, Vince and Gigi were DNP's last game. Like that won't happen. I'm excited to see Vince on Jimmy.
Well, I am too, but the bad news for the Grizzlies is that now you're looking at Santi's out. Santi's out. I mean, obviously no Des, but Santi's out with that right knee soreness we talked about yesterday. It was literally something we told you was going to happen, and it happened again. And Luke Kennard is questionable. So
when did that happen? I didn't see that.
Luke Kennard got an update. We got an update from Grizzlies PR about 2 hours ago. Luke Kennard being questionable for tonight's game with right thigh soreness, which making an adjustment like that to the injury report is always scary because it's like, okay, he didn't feel, he's gone through morning shoot around and he doesn't feel good, right? That kind of thing. Yes, that's exactly what happened. So you go out, you go through morning shoot around, he doesn't really feel right, didn't feel good. So that does not bode well for playing tonight. Whenever you go through a shoot around and you don't feel good, and it's like, let's give it the day and see what happens. That's what questionable is. That's what they're doing. Let's give it the day and see what happens. And you come tonight, it's like, yeah, it still don't feel good. So I wouldn't count on Luke Kennard playing tonight. And so if you have Luke and Santi out, then it's like, man, I don't know. I don't know who scores the basketball for these guys. Honestly,
And we still don't have hardship exceptions. We're still waiting on them.
Don't have that. The Grizzlies did get granted the disabled player exception from the league today. That happened this morning as well. If you missed that, it's $12.4 million. The way the disabled player exception works, just so everybody knows, just a little quick ins and outs of that is that they have to have a roster spot and they can only use it on an expiring contract. So the likelihood of them using that is almost none. They probably will not use this in any way, shape, or form. They have a lot of exceptions, and sometimes a lot of the exceptions go unused, just like this one will. So again, but it's $12.4 million. But again, they would have to cut people. They would find someone with an expiring contract that they would be able to use it on. It's a lot of things that just wouldn't work. And the disabled player exception and the hardship waivers cannot be used in conjunction with each other. Yeah, can't combine them. The hardship waivers are simply just like 10-day contracts. So that's just doesn't have any effect on the cap or anything like that. It's just 10-day contracts. So, so we still, but to your point, we still don't have those. So we still don't have any players that can play. So you'd be looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If Luke's out, 9 players, 9 of 15 players on a roster that would be out tonight if Luke doesn't play, which is crazy. I mean, and it's like, I want to believe like everybody else does, but that's tough. I mean,
that shit's tough. I mean, like who out of the guys that are active, who do you 100% feel in like? There's only 2 guys that I'm like, yeah, they could get us they could get a bucket. There's it's Jaren and it's Vince are the guys that I feel confident, and there's guys that I feel like would go after a bucket. Like Roddy's going to shoot till he makes one, but like other than that, I mean Gigi probably the same, but like that's four guys. I like Giddy, but like it's tough.
Giddy doesn't score. I mean, that's the problem with him. And he does a lot of other things, but he doesn't score the basketball.
Doesn't score.
So you go into a game tonight. I mean, I'd almost be of the mind of like, hey, let's just get a scheduled loss here. I mean, they play again on Friday in Orlando, or excuse me, back at home. This would be the first game back before they're out again against the Pacers, but they play again on Friday. Maybe you just sit Luke. I hope he really is just kind of sore and he gets better on Friday, and you have him back, and I think maybe you're able to beat maybe you're able to beat a Magic team. I don't know. It'd be still a tough task, but with all their people depleted. But tonight is going to be a really, really difficult game to win. If that's that's the goal, which I mean, at this point in the season, I don't know if that's the goal anymore, but it's their goal. And so, it's a depressing first segment.
Well, we can maybe end it on a good note. Do you think we see Scottie Pippen Jr. minutes?
Yeah, they'll have to. I mean, they just won't have they don't have people. I mean, I think that's kind of where you're at right now. If Luke is out, and Santi's already ruled out. If Luke is out, then you're looking at you're looking up heavy Gaillard minutes. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I would like to see him ahead of Gaillard just to see what that looks like, just because he's got some better size. But as you guys know, Taylor Jenkins is a creature of habit. Sometimes bad habits. So
he is the creature of habit currently.
I don't know. If Luke and Santi are out, you probably see you got to have another whole new starting lineup where you probably get, David Roddy and Xavier Tillman in the starting lineup. That leaves you Gigi Jackson, Sire Williams, Gaillard, and Scottie Pippen Jr. on the bench. And that's it. So even if Jacob Bell plays, I think you see Scottie Pippen Jr. just because they're just literally, there would be 9 guys that they would have available. And you can't continue to play Jaren and Vince, 38 minutes a game at this point, I guess.
God.
Yeah. Depressing first segment. I will say that. It does not look good, does not bode well for us for tonight's matchup if Luke doesn't play. So, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. We will talk about who our stats monster prediction might be in the second segment, and then we'll get to our trade in the last segment. And that's what everybody is looking here for today anyway. So let's get to it.
Not just the level of individual talent that he plays, but it's also the level of his mind. We haven't gotten cross-court open shot this year. Right. We haven't seen that pass a lot. Number one, you got to respect him going to the basket. There's a roller. I got to watch the roller. He has the mind to be able to say, I see all of that, but now I see this guy over here. I'm going to get him this open shot. How shifty he is to always be going forward. It's usually side to side.
Yeah.
His dribble moves are side to side, but going forward.
Right.
Which is very hard to defend. I just want to get you, as many times can I get you to do this? But for him, it's not here. It is here, which is what are his moves to get down the floor. It's awkward for a defender to try to catch a cadence. You dribble. So now what I do is now when you go put that ball down, I'm going for it. But with him, it's hard for my cadence. But what's my cadence for you? I don't know what it is.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Who do you need to step it up? Outside of David Jones, I think David Jones is David Jones.
I don't think you need him to step it up because he's been performing.
Yeah, like he's David Jones. Like outside of him, he's fine.
I think Quinterly needs to play better.
In what way? Like, I mean, he's facilitating the ball well. I mean, what do you like? I don't.
2 at 12 from the field's not cutting it.
It's not great. It's not great.
And I don't need a runner 3 from the top of the key with 3.5 seconds left.
Is Virginia the game where Jordan Brown is going to cook? Those dudes aren't looking to run the ball.
Cook what? Dude, I thought he was going to have a freaking night. He came out with that fresh cut, lined up, and then literally within the first 15 seconds missed a wide open layup. And then picked up 2 fouls right away.
I feel real lied to because I thought we were getting a 20 and 10 guy.
Didn't think it did anything for you.
Well, I
think we all thought we were getting a 20 and 10 guy. And we are getting that in David Jones.
I'm not even getting 20 or 10 minutes out of the guy.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind, where we talk Memphis Grizzlies right here every single day on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. Make sure you go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. It helps us out tremendously. So I promise you there is a show for everybody, especially like with non-OC soccer coming back soon. Our guy Lawrence will be doing soccer. We got TJ and Trey on Tigers on Tap, drinking beer, talking Tigers. Of course, we got Anthony Sane, he talks about everything, mainly Grizzlies. Got On the Bluff, kind of our national sports show. They talk about anything from MMA, of course, our show as well. New show, $2 sports show. Those guys talk Grizzlies as well. So lots of stuff for different audiences. We'll be right here every day, though, at now 1 p.m., right after lunch. So you can enjoy your lunch with us if you'd like. If not, I totally understand. I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Hey,
Let's
we're a
just
good hang. We're a good hang for lunch.
Exactly. But if not, just subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's all I really care about at this point. So let's get to the stats monster. I'm going to make it easy for myself, and I'm just going to go Jaren Jackson Jr.
Okay.
I just don't think there's going to be anybody else to score the basketball tonight. That's just, I don't know. It could go either way. Like he scores a lot, or they send 3 guys at him and he's like, I can't do anything because there's so many people around me. Just like a Dez situation earlier in the year where he was the only person that could shoot from 3. So he's either going to be our stats monster, or he's going to have like 12 points, and because he's going to get triple teamed every time down the court. So that's what I got. What you got?
So I'm going to zag a little bit, but not zag like an anti-stat monster like the other day. I'm going to say, before I drink out of my stat monster mug, I'm going to say Vince Williams Jr. I actually think he's going to have a double-double again, and I think that'll be 2. I think it'll be back-to-back games for back-to-back double-doubles.
I could see that. I could
because
see I could see that.
Somebody has to. It's like somebody's got to rebound the ball, especially if Santi's not playing. And somebody's got to score. And I think he's gonna, and he assists. He's also a good with Point Luke out potentially. Like we're gonna need someone else. I mean, I don't know. I just see him needing to step up, and I could see him wanting to go toe to toe with Jimmy. And I don't know. I'm gonna go with Vince, and he kind of looks like the stats monster too. He looks kind of crazy.
He's got those long arms,
Dude, his arms are crazy long. They're crazy long, like Mr. Gadget.
I could see that. I mean, I also sneaky could pick with maybe Xavier Tillman. If Luke doesn't play and he moves up he'll probably be in the starting lineup regardless because of Santi being out.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, the rebounds and the points got to go somewhere. And he is the actual NBA player versus some of these guys are not, and maybe not. So It would be also a sneaky good pick, I think, if you were looking for something. But I'm going to stick with Jaren Jackson Jr. just because I think, like I said, that there's no one else to score the ball, and I think this is like a default pick for me. I like Jaren, and obviously I think he's going to be great in every game. But
I think he's due for Bam kind of made him look like a little bitch last game. I wouldn't be surprised if.
I forgot about that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he came out like pissed. Bam played all pissy about comments from last. Like, it was just weird. Bam played out of his mind for weird reasons. And I could see Jaren wanting to repay the favor.
Yeah, okay, too. All right, that's going to be it for our stats month. So let's take another quick break. We will be right back. We'll be talking trades next. There is one specific trade we'll be discussing, whether it's good for the Grizzlies, bad for the Grizzlies, and whether they actually would do it or not. We'll be right back.
I'm just big on being able to vocalize what someone's role is. I always thought my best coaches were the people that let me know exactly what you expect from me. Now, I might not like it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right. But if you come to me man to man to say, this is how we think we're gonna play you, bang, 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 and hopefully everybody understands. I'm not saying that this has not been done with this team. I'm just saying from my experience, we all have egos when we get to this game. Right. All of us, to the last person on the bench, you got an ego, but all of us can't be the man. Yeah. You got to be able to say, okay, he's the man, but what do I do and what can I do to help us be good? And if it's vocalized to you, then you know exactly and if I'm out there doing it and now I'm not getting the result from you, now we got to sit down and have another conversation. But as long as it is told to you, this is what we expect from you, this is how we want you to play, then I feel like, again, keeping this logo. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. All right, Christian.
Yes.
You are Penny Hardaway.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Today, you're going to play act. Okay? Gabe, because you're a Jordan Brown apologist, you're going to be Jordan Brown.
I'm a Jordan Brown apologist. Okay.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Y'all are sitting across the room from each other.
I said, don't tweet him hate. And he's like, you're an apologist. Like, good God. But either way, continue. We're in a room together.
Why did things break down?
Jordan, we brought you in this year to be the centerpiece of our offense. You came in out of shape. Let's call it what it is. Call a spade a spade. We play fast. Told you this when we were recruiting you. We play fast. One of the fastest paces in the country. You have to be able to get up and down the floor. You have failed at that.
Oh, well, I'm leaving. So it's fine.
Cool. Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind, where we talk Grizzlies every single day right here now at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, right after lunch. Let's talk about trades. We're going to be talking about trades in our shows. We'll do one trade a day, what we think about it, if it would be a good idea, if it's crazy, if it would happen, all that kind of stuff. So there was a trade that got kind of, I wouldn't say leaked, but put out by this was a Bobby Marks article about the Cavs sending Damian Jones and 2 seconds for Xavier Tillman. First off, what are your thoughts on the trade? And would you do it?
So, yes, I would do it.
Not with the team. I mean, would Luke do it? Not with the team. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Would the teams do it? Why they would do it? But would Luke do it?
Luke would do it. Just because I don't, as much as I love X, Luke doesn't see him in the long term. He's not a long term answer on this team, like Luke also knows about, we both love the CBA, we both love contracts. I know that we're probably not going to, I know that I'm not going to extend him, probably, being honest. And so thus, if I can recoup some draft assets, Luke would do it. But I don't know.
I will drive him to Cleveland myself. He can ride with me. I don't mind. I won't even
ride
make
with
him
you.
pay for a flight. I won't even make him pay for a flight. Look, I mean, I love X as well, but like you said, this is just a situation where it's just a contractual thing. It's not even like
Yes.
it's not even a is he bad player versus the good player. I mean, the Damian Jones is a throw-in salary, right? That's not even like a Damian Jones is barely playing for the Cavs. He's whatever. He's a journeyman. He's not a real good NBA player.
No,
he probably gets waived. Honestly,
yeah.
If that were to happen, he probably doesn't even stay here in Memphis. He probably gets waived and he gets sent somewhere else or he gets signed somewhere else. You're really only doing this for the picks.
Yes.
This is just a situation contractually where, the Grizzlies are not going to extend Xavier Tillman. They're not going to have the money for him. He's not going to be back. And so if you can get something for an expiring contract, you do it. Even if that is 2 seconds. And I know a lot of people, but 2 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but that leads me to our segue of Statty Sean today. And I'm going to throw it up. Let's talk about Statty Sean coming in hot with about this particular trade. And this is Zach Kleiman's uses of second rounders on draft night since 2019. They've used second rounders to get Brandon Clark, Desmond Bane, Santi Adama, also used to trade and select Xavier Tillman, Kennedy Chandler, Vince, Gigi Jackson. So 2 seconds in the hands of Zach Kleiman is pretty powerful.
Gold.
I mean, he as much as we've talked about this year, the missing on certain first rounders, they do a really good job of selecting second round picks and in terms of players or using those picks to get people. So I would trust this front office with second round picks. So I think that's about as much as you're going to get for Xavier Tillman anyway. I don't see you getting a high value for Xavier Tillman. Do you?
No, and it's like, is Xavier Tillman the better player? Yeah. I mean, I would argue, I would say yes, but like, we're not going to get, we're not going to get anything, or I don't see us getting a better offer than 2 second rounders. And doing the math there, odds are just math. One of those second rounders is going to hit and be a real role player. Like just the way that Kleiman drafts, one of those 2 second rounders, if they get it, is going to hit. If anything else, you're just going to be replacing X with the next X. And it sucks. Yeah, it sucks, but it's a business. It's a business, and we're trying to win a championship.
That being said, I would do it. You would do it. I think the Grizzlies would do it. Don't you?
Yes, because it seems like the kind of around the fringes moves that they are known to do around the deadline, to be perfectly honest. Like, you remember, I don't remember who it was, Jarrett Culver was the prize a few years ago after it was move after move after move after move after move, and all we got was him. It seems more in line with the Grizzlies' manner of doing business, if you ask me. Right. I don't know if that's not necessarily how we like it to be, but that's how they do it.
Yeah. I think my biggest question would be, is Cleveland doing it? And that's where I have some pause.
Same. I'm right there with you. I'm in lockstep with you there, because they've got a good. I just looking at their roster. I don't know where does he play?
Exactly. And I think this, if anything, if Cleveland were to do it, if anything, this is just an insurance policy. And I don't think X gets on the court. I'll be honest with you. I just don't know if he gets a lot of minutes there. He's their fifth big, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably where he slots in anyway, as maybe your fourth big on an NBA team. And I think out of all people, I think Cleveland will be the one that had the biggest pause of why I would do this, only because are their assets better used somewhere else? They got a lot of guards are hurt right now for them. They're a good team. They're fourth in the Eastern Conference. They're 24-15. They clearly have, they're making the postseason. Yeah. They are, their goal is to win a championship. The Grizzlies' goal is obviously that's gone. But that is a reality that the Cleveland can try to do. Is that the best use of their assets for them? I don't know, man. I just don't know.
Now, them making the move might signal that they're willing to move on from some of these other bigs, like they're winning without Mobley, I don't know if maybe them getting other big signals that they're willing to move on from Jared Allen, who's playing fucking awesome, or move on from Mobley. I wouldn't move on from. I mean, I wouldn't do either of those things. I think both those dudes are pretty good. Definitely better than X, but like they're playing this well without Mobley on the court. Maybe this signals that they're like shopping him around. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, I mean, the other part of that about X, and he's obviously a very unique player in the sense if you're going to give up second round picks for Xavier Tillman, your expectation is, I guess, you think that you're going to re-sign him, right? It's not like a situation where you're going to give up second round picks as a rental for someone like X. No offense to Xavier Tillman, but that doesn't happen. And so, just looking at their cap sheet, like they would have to take, I mean, they would have his bird rights. They would have his bird rights. So they could go over the cap to re-sign him if they wanted to. Yeah. So they'd have that option too. Whoever trades for X would have his bird rights. It would be a very small cap hold. His cap hold would be like less than almost like around $1 million, like almost nothing. And
it's nothing.
If you don't know anything about cap holds, it's just how it affects your spending in the summer. We're not going to get into cap holds, but it's small.
It's very small with the cap going up. That is nothing.
Yeah. I mean, they've got, Tristan Thompson's coming off the books this year. They've got Damian Jones coming off the books this year. They got Isaac Okoro as a restricted free agent, which they'll re-sign him.
But like D Wade's playing really well for them. George Nang's playing, like they got dudes that are playing really well.
And they still got Jared Allen for 2 more years at $20 million. I mean, they got a lot of money tied up into Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, and Max Strus. I mean, all those dudes make above $15 million a year.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. And so, that would be what I think would be the sticking point, is that I think the Cavs, I think their assets may be better used in a different scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends. It really does depend on what they're doing, which is like the understatement of the year. But like, because I don't know if many people saw them playing this well without their 2 of their stars out, and it's what they decide to do. They're one of the teams that I think is really intriguing to keep an eye on. Not that I'm expecting them to be either a buyer or a seller, but what they decide to do will be indicative of a couple things. And that might be some dominoes for the whole league, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think you're right. I mean, I think that they are not where they thought they were going to be, and it's a little difficult for teams to be in that position where you find yourself in a position in the middle of the year, the trade deadline, where you're playing much better than you thought you were, but you also don't necessarily think you got the pieces to make it make a championship run. It's a little like the Grizzlies the past couple of years. Remember that first year with John Morant? You find yourself in the playoffs, you don't really know what to do because you got good players, but at the same time, like it's not exactly a one way. It's not like, it's not like the Lakers where what your goal is and you're a few pieces short. You got to be a buyer, right? And versus or just like the Grizzlies, this year is a gap year. You have a multitude of wings. Like you got to be sellers, right?
Yes, yes.
And you can be sellers and be buyers at the same time. You got
Xavier both.
Expiring. You can do both, but for the most part, you got to be sellers. And so I think for me, I do this trade. I think the Grizzlies do this trade, but I'm real hesitant that the Cavs do this trade. And if you made me choose, I would say that they would not do this deal. I don't think they're going to spend their assets on another big, especially with the expiring contract.
Just seems like a weird move on their part at this point.
Yep. It does seem like a weird move. Now, again, it's from Bobby Marks. It's just like a trade fodder suggestion, right? Like whatever. But he obviously knows way more than we do.
Yeah.
About the NBA and is way more connected than we are. So take that for what it's worth on the trade. So I would do it. You do it. The Grizzlies do it. I don't know about the Cavs. And that's kind of where we're at, I think. That's going to be it for our show today, guys. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. You can catch us right here on Bluff City Media YouTube page. Like I said, go subscribe.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock every day. We'll be back, hopefully talking about maybe a Grizzlies win. I doubt it, But either way, we'll be talking about something right here tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be talking about something no matter what. We'll see you then.